got some crack, put it in your pipe. If you got a poop, there's no time to wipe. The fucking devlog, oh yes, it's time for the shitty little devlog.
Alright, okay, about to do the devlog. Big fucking energy. We gotta get excited here. We gotta, this is marketing. Fuck. Okay, hey folks. So, how's it going? I'm Doug. I'm one of the developers of Blood Trail VR, and I'm back. What's going on, folks? I missed you guys. We've been hard at work getting this update ready. You guys have been helping us out a lot with testing and everything in the experimental branch and debug branch. We appreciate you guys a lot. And so I have good news for you guys today, which is that we are updating our experimental branch today to include all 9 levels of raid. And we got a few more things. We got a bunch of stuff going on. You know, we have a bunch of different branches. We're the only people that do early access to the early access of the early access. It's like at least 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of early access we got going on, folks. If you don't know what I mean by that, we have our main branch, which if you just buy the game on Steam and hit download and hit play, you'll get that. And you know, you can do that if you want. Don't do that. What you want to be playing on is the experimental branch or the debug branch. So layer deeper into early access. So the regular main branch is already early access. It's already early access. You're all helping us build and test the game so that we can make the final real Blood Trail. But, so that's one layer, and then you got a layer down deeper. I don't know why I called traveling on myself, but anyway, a layer down deeper, you've got the experimental branch, which is a layer down deeper. And on the experimental branch, you can play our gore and AI update. So it's like a totally different enemy blueprint and everything. Everything's completely changed so that you'll get a totally different experience. You have different AI, different gore, a bunch of different maps. And now in the experimental branch, you will have all 9 maps of raid once again. And we did revamping on those maps. We fixed a bunch of collision crap. We made it more efficient. We made the lighting better, we made everything better. So, and of course you're gonna benefit from the new AI, which means that now when you're playing raid mode, you're gonna have the opportunity for stealth stuff. I'm getting ahead of myself. I forgot that some of you guys are new. And I didn't even fully explain everything else. Wait, backtrack, hold on, what the fuck, edit. So anyway, I don't know, cut it back on the editing room floor to back where I was talking about the experimental branch. A layer deeper than that, we got the debug branch, which isn't even always there. It comes and goes like Gandalf in The Hobbit. And so it's like, that is the deepest layer of early access where you're gonna be playing stuff that might just totally crash. It just might fuck up completely. You know? Fuck it. You're living life on the edge, the bleeding edge. I just got a message from Caleb on my computer. That's what that sound was. I'm not gonna edit that out. That's the live development process happening right before your eyes. That's what you watch these devlogs for. Anyway, by the way, I know. Listen, I've been bulking this past week. Had some delicious food. It's about to be spring soon. I'm gonna cut for summer soon. I still have some delicious food left in the fridge, so not tonight, but anyway. Where was I? So what is raid? You may be asking yourself that if you've never played raid before, if you've only ever played on the experimental branch. So raid is like a linear mode where you are on this big long path in the wilderness and you get to the end and there's gonna be a compound, like an outpost of some cult buildings with some dudes that are patrolling around, and they're going to be inside these buildings. And the layout of these compounds is always a little different each time you play, so there's a bit of replayability there. And your job is to get to the end of the path and clear out those buildings. And so there's 9 maps like that, and it can take quite a bit of time to play through all those. So that just gives you like a little bit of an idea of what some of the areas in story mode are going to be like. Does not give you a full idea of what story mode is going to be like by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just a little bit closer to story mode, one step closer than the other arcade and sandbox kind of maps are. So we've got all 9 of those raid maps back in, available now in the experimental branch. And so the big thing with that, what that means, a big difference between the experimental branch and the old main branch build, which is very old. I mean, that's I think close to 2 years old now, that main branch build. That pre-update build is what I mean by the main branch there. So in this, you're going to now have opportunities for stealth because the AI is going to be patrolling around, and they have a whole system of being at different levels of awareness and everything. So we made the suppressed Piavra 9mm so that you'd be able to do like long distance stealth kills, and you can also do stealth kills with blunt attacks and with knives and stuff like that, of course, too. And so I feel like that just gives Raid a whole lot more playability, because you could play through it trying to get a whole stealth run, which can be really challenging, or you can still play through it guns blazing and everything. So we also added, night vision, which you can activate by touching up here on your head in the game, not in real life. And then we also added a headlamp back, which that was a feature that we had a while ago. So we brought that back. And so you'll see when you play Raid how the headlamp versus the night vision affects the range of the visibility that the enemies can see you from and everything. So it's got all sorts of deep stuff like that. But anyway, I'm probably boring you to tears. You probably want to go and actually play the game, which is what we want you to do, of course. So go to the experimental branch on Steam. If you don't know how to switch from the main branch to the experimental branch, I will explain it right now. You go to Steam, you click on Blood Trail. You're going to click on Properties. Then you're going to click on the tab that says Betas. And then there's going to be a drop-down menu, and you'll see the experimental branch there. And so you can click on that, and you can join the experimental branch if you're not already on that. But we definitely want you on the experimental branch. And so what's next? What's coming up next? That's an important question, very exciting question, actually. So up next, we have our controls update stuff coming up, which is going to be really big. And that's going to be like the final thing that gives the polish to the gameplay experience in Blood Trail, so that we'll be all ready to actually create the story mode that we've been talking about this whole time. So with the controls update, we're going to be knocking down all the bugs that you guys have reported over the years to us, basically whatever's left. Some of the systems got totally rebuilt, so that kind of clears out a lot of bugs. And you're going to see a few bugs, by the way, fixed in this update. Also, a cool thing in this update is you're going to see new enemy faces. So for a while in experimental branch, past couple of months, we've just had one single enemy face that repeats, and that does get a little dull after a while. So now you'll see different faces on all the enemies, so that's really cool. Just by the way, BTW there. And so anyway, controls update is going to be awesome. So we're going to be completely revamping the controls, the way grabbing stuff feels, the way punching enemies and melee striking enemies feels, the way stabbing feels, the way gun mechanics feel and operate. So there's going to be no more of these like janky gun mechanics where you grab a gun and it's like in the wrong position in your hand, or you go to load a magazine and it's not going. No more of that shit. That's over. We're going to finally go in and rebuild a bunch of those systems with a bunch of the stuff that we've learned over the years, and we're going to make something that's really, really polished and smooth and doesn't get in the way of the game, and really will also allow us to much more easily add lots of new weapons and stuff. So along with that controls update, you will see a couple of new weapons added. We're not revealing what those weapons are yet. I need some fucking water. Fuck you guys. You want me to have no fucking water? You want me to fucking cough up dust? Where was I? Water update. So in the controls update, we're going to make it so that we can add more guns a lot more easily, which is going to be really cool, because before it was kind of a pain for us to add new guns. That's why we've been kind of stuck with the same guns for a really long time. And there's definitely going to be new melee weapons too. We can't reveal, like I said, we can't reveal what any of these new weapons are going to be just yet, but I can tell you that we will probably be adding a chopping weapon that does chopping. damage so you can chop limbs off and stuff like that. I don't think you'll be able to karate chop limbs off the way I just did, or judo chop, if you're an Austin Powers fan. But anyway, so that's that. Let me look at my fucking notes. Fuck you guys. I think I'm supposed to just remember this shit off the top of my head like I'm some sort of TV personality just because I've been doing this for years. I should be good at it. I know I should. Oh! Very important. So you're asking, you're saying, but what about melee enemies? What about them? They're coming, but we're gonna actually probably be bringing the melee enemies back along with some of the controls update stuff, because we want to make it so that the controls and the melee weapons and all that stuff, the grabbing, everything, works together with the way that the enemies fight the player. And so I'll definitely be elaborating a lot more on that in future devlogs and stuff, but and you'll definitely see it and get to play it. But we have big plans to make melee way better than it was before, and I'm really excited. And we actually already started doing a little bit of work on that. And so once again, I can't reveal anything just yet, but the first step in our controls update is actually just experimenting with a few of the things that we've promised you guys we would just experiment with. So we're experimenting right now, and so far we've been having some pretty interesting results. So can't tell you anything, can't promise you anything. Fuck you guys. 1 time, 2 times. If I had a third arm, it'd come up like this. But it's gonna be really cool when it's done. So I am excited about that. I managed to nail the devlog in 1 take because I got pumped up beforehand. I was excited about it, and I'm well fed, as we can see. So don't fat shame me in the comments. Don't fat shame yourselves. Just play more Blood Trail, and we're gonna make it so that when you're fighting in Blood Trail, maybe you can actually burn some calories too. So I'm actually really looking forward to that, because I use VR in my cardio a lot when I do cardio, which hasn't been this week. Anyway, alrighty guys. Well, I will talk to you guys soon. Make sure that you download the latest experimental branch update. It is up right now on Steam. And you guys go fuck yourselves and go play the game and enjoy yourselves and fuck yourselves and all of that shit. So, bye-bye. Alright, I'll see you guys.